I'm Steve Strum. As always, sitting next to me is the proficient speller, Colonel Chris Budahas.
Public school system.
Shout
out to the public school
off the
system.
set, the producers were challenging us to do some really neat things, and apparently I can't pronounce the word linear, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I know, but I'm not here to talk to you.
No.
I talk to you all the time. We have, again, Jake Bohn from Holland and Knight with us today to talk about some really interesting things in the legal field.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us again. I know we've had you on a previous segment talking about some things through the military, which we're going to come to. But this is about who you are as far as an attorney. What is Holland and Knight, and what kind of an attorney are you?
First, thanks for having me. Holland Knight is an international law firm that's grown out of Florida. I think we're either the biggest or the second biggest law firm in the state, and then one of the biggest in the Southeast. We're a full-service law firm that mainly serves corporations. We do everything from mergers and acquisitions to real estate deals. I myself am a commercial litigator. So basically, if there's a contract dispute, companies trying to sue each other, that's when folks like myself will step in and serve the needs of a client that has a legal issue in the courts.
So Jake, you're an Army veteran, so thanks for your service. Really appreciate it. So coming out of law school, I mean, law is big. I mean, you could have went anywhere in the world, work for anybody. Why Holland and Knight?
Really, the opportunity, the size of the law firm, the people at the law firm, particularly here in Jacksonville, I felt like they valued my experience in the Army. And there's a history there of giving back to veteran causes in pro bono work and in other ways, getting involved in the community. And I thought with my experience in a place like Jacksonville, it was a great fit for me. And then beyond that, just the size of the firm, the opportunity to do complex work in different areas of the law and help me shape my practice. It was really the best door in front of me, and I'm really lucky for me that it worked out.
Well, it is a household name beyond Jacksonville, but a lot of people that are in those circles know of Holland and Knight. But the thing that I thought was really neat, we talked a little bit about it offset together, is even though you guys are such a great law firm, you get a lot of stuff for the community.
Right.
So.
Correct. Yeah. So, for example, we do a 9/11 day of service nationwide. Each office partners with a nonprofit in the local community and does some community service work, whether it's building repairs. Of course, you got to watch out with that because a bunch of attorneys trying to paint or build something can be its own hazard.
Well, as long as you have it properly disclosed, and the release forms, and we just have that at registration.
Correct. Yeah, and then beyond that, pro bono work with, particularly in the Florida offices, there's an emphasis, it seems like, on veteran causes, whether it's active duty folks or veterans in need after their time in service, trying to help them, access benefits or any other type of legal dispute. We try to help serve those in need as best we can.
So we're talking offset also. How's the law changing? What are some examples of things that are keeping you? Because as a lawyer, you gotta be on top of things because nothing's static in today's society.
Yeah, specific to Florida, there's been some changes to the rules of civil procedure. They're trying to streamline kind of the litigation process. I think there was a backlog after COVID, and they're changing the rules on kind of the timeline and case management orders. But one thing that's kind of more academic that interests me, I haven't had the opportunity to do a lot of it, but employment law, the FTC has been trying to basically outlaw non-compete agreements between employers and their workers. And just recently, a couple of weeks ago, a judge in Texas basically said, hey, you can't do that. So that's something that I'm sure employers are kind of looking on in the horizon to see how that filters its way up, because I'm sure it'll go to the Supreme Court to determine whether or not the FTC can do that, because that was an area of the law that states had governed before. And you had states like California that were very prohibitive of non-compete clauses. Basically, you couldn't enforce them. And states like Florida had some laws, that's basically if it's reasonable on geographically the type of work and the time frame, you can enforce them. So employers, I'm sure, will be interested in seeing how that sorts out.
I can imagine. I'm working in a variety of areas in business and also defense. So some of the tech companies I'm consulting with, I can imagine that you had a non-compete, if that was null and void, you can take that right across the street to a competitor that's more than willing to hire you and take
Right.
that knowledge with you. So that's huge.
Or even if it comes a call into question, I mean, at the basis at the end of that, whether or not it goes through as it is its current form, gets changed, whatever, brings a lot of room for interpretation.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the thing is, both in my professional career, your professional career, one of the things that's funny, we always have this joke, hey, how do you know when you've made it, right? You made it when you have a lawyer for that, right? So there's a lawyer and then there's a lawyer for that. And, you guys have done a great job of doing all different areas of law. So, what we'll do is we'll make sure, because we could probably talk, for hours about just all the different things, all the different divisions, but that's a really fascinating piece that, impacts everyday business owners, myself being included. We'll make sure to hang your stuff on our website on thedailynewsnetwork.com. But then also what we'll make sure to do is have a spot there for you. So the charitable thing, so people can kind of keep up what's going on. They can click there, check it out. And really appreciate you taking time to come on the show again and kind of walk us through why, Holland and Knight is an obvious choice as a young lawyer, but then also as a potential client. So appreciate you coming in. Chris,
Thanks for having me.
brother, as always, man.
Always good to see you.
Yes, sir. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you joining us today. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today on the Jacksonville Buzz's Raise the Bar. If you like us, share us. And remember, live with gratitude.